Top regret of the dying. I wish I'd had the courage to live my life instead of the life I thought other people expected of me. Is there any chance that you might be someone that says something like that? My 30 years experience working with people globally says there's hope for us all. A lot of it. I'm a psychotherapist, psychologist, coach. My name's Poppy. I work exclusively for you. I'm unaffiliated. Imagine your parents, your grandparents on both sides were raised with the idea that they could be what they want, do what they want, say what they want, and they would be loved enormously for it. That they didn't have to do anything to receive love. That there was no threat. That when they were hurting, when they were scared, and when they were confused, they were safe. Love was bountiful. Imagine your parents' parents experienced that. And therefore, it's more likely, of course, that your parents will have raised you that way. You could do no wrong. And not grooming for a narcissist wrong is they have boundaries. However, they would always say to you, tell me more if you're upset or moody or absent in some kind of way. That you always had the sense that your parents were your guides. That they had the pleasure and the privilege of guiding you in this life. And that was it. That was their role, to keep you safe and to guide you a little bit and give you some insights and let you decide with no agenda, no attachment to whether or not you thought they were right or wrong or anything. And the school system was like that with you. Imagine you went to school for the 15 million years or whatever we did, and every school teacher that you came into contact with said, hey, how are you doing? Oh, you learn like that? That's really interesting. So your brain works that way. Okay, so in which case my brain works a bit like that. My husband's doesn't, and Mrs. Randall, her brain doesn't work like that. However, this might be useful to you. Do you think? Are you interested in that? Oh, you don't like this subject. Okay, not a problem. We've got all kinds of different subjects. Are you interested in that? In fact, I think probably you're a bit more advanced the way that you think. So maybe you could join the 15-year-olds. Maybe you'd love to be with these people because they think similarly to you, and there's a group there that think very differently. So you could all talk and learn from one another. So you feel safe with some group, because there's this in-group that you understand, and then there's this other group, and we all are encouraged to be together and different, and we're all equally welcome and equally important and equally loved because we exist. And every single place you went in your entire existence, people greeted you fascinated. Like they said this about Clinton, President Clinton. For anything we can say, people have said in various different ways that they felt like the only person in the world when he was talking to them. Imagine that was your experience with people. You're the only person in the world right now when you're engaged with someone. How would you feel about you? How would you feel in the world? How would you treat others if you felt you need do nothing to receive love? In the absence of that, this happens. If you're feeling drained, overwhelmed, pissed off, depressed, anxious, reactive, alone, overweight, underwhelmed, stuck, suicidal, confused, grieving, shameful, it's my thesis that you've been set up to feel all of those things, and then to distract yourself every minute of the day so that you don't think about it. Because if you do, then maybe you'll do something about it. Maybe you'll realize that some of the things that you've had going on in your life, the way people have treated you, the messaging you've had from this way, that way, and the other way, that says, don't be you. You need to learn this way. You need to be that. You can't say that. You can't do that. You can't think that. Maybe you'd wise up to that and say, hang on a minute, wait. The laws of nature, everything's seasonal, everything's welcome, everything's different, and it coexists, and there's not really much threat. Everything changes, everything moves. When we're on planet Earth, and those are the laws of nature, reciprocity, give and receive, maybe I'll follow the laws of nature and see how I do. Maybe I'll eat when it's daylight and stop when it's not. And so on. Maybe if you focus in on you with loving eyes, without judgment, maybe you'll start to understand what gets to happen for you to thrive. A lot of businesses will go out of business because you suddenly go, oh, there are things like, oh, I don't know, inalienable rights, the freedom to speak, the right to speak, the right to move freely, the right to move freely, the right to a safe place to live, the right to uncontaminated water, and so on. So in the absence of that, where people do the right thing and have a moral compass that takes care of you, there are some options you have at your fingertips, it seems to me, which is to ask yourself, people, places and things, are they good for you? Are they life-giving? Are they positive? Are they uplifting? Or have you got cultured into drama and depletion? People in your life, places in your life, things in your life, that includes food and drink. Are they life-giving? Or are they depleting? It's not your fault if you're suffering. You've been set up to do so because it makes people a lot of money. However, my question would be, does that fit for you? Does it resonate? And if it does, is there something you might want to do about it? Because we'll tell you what's the most common thing that we do as humans is we look for someone to blame. And then we spend our lives waiting for them to do right by us, and it does not happen. It can, and often does happen, however, only once we start doing the right thing by us. We start taking care of us. We start having boundaries with us. We do the things that we say we'll do. That's where boundaries begin. What's okay, what's not for me. And our confidence starts to grow when we do that. Small little things, 1% shift each day. And then watch how people treat you very differently. Very differently. And that means that stacks across time, and you will have a very different life and be a very different person. Your personality will change because our personality is made up of what we're thinking, feeling and doing. You think differently, you'll feel differently, and then you'll do differently. So if you groom yourself to appreciate you and care for you a little bit more, 1% shift each day, imagine where you'll be in a year. Imagine what your relationships will look like, your bank balance will look like, your health will look like. In the absence of that, you might have more of that. And I'm a vote for you having more of everything you would like, and not because you have to earn it, because you are deserving of it. Our right to be free, sovereign souls. You free, able to self-regulate. You're not reliant on someone else to tell you what to do and where to fit in the box, and you can do this if you've got that, and you can't do that if you've got this. Think about it. Like and follow if this resonates with you. Send in enormous love.